Good afternoon. Oh, goodness, it says I'm live and recording. So welcome to Monday with Pat at Pat's Stamping Place. So if you are here, let me know. Goodness, a lot of things have happened in the past week. Things are just flying off the shelves at Stampin' Up! With all of the things that are going to be retired. And we still have 20 some days left to go. So I will wait a minute or so till I see if somebody hops on. Hi, Rose. Welcome. Glad that you can join today. So I hope everybody had a wonderful Easter weekend. A little chilly, but definitely no ice or snow or rain. So it was a good weekend. And I think things just have bloomed so much in the past few days. The trees, I swear that I drove down a street yesterday that was not green when I drove by, and the trees were budded when I came home. So could have been my imagination. I don't know. Good afternoon, Gloria. Welcome. So what I'm doing today is I don't want to concentrate on the things that I know are retiring. The stamp set that I wanted to use today, I found out last night that it is retired, which means it's no longer available. And that was the Ranunculus Romance stamp set. I had my heart set on that. And then, sadly, I keep checking and I look. But I believe what I'm using today is still available. However, it's not about what's available, it's the technique. So in the next couple of weeks, to show you things that you can do regardless of what you have in your stash, regardless of what's available or not available, I just want to show you different ways that you maybe can do things. So we are going to build a bouquet today. Now, I am not a bouquet builder, and I know Gloria, who's watching right now, definitely is. She can do so many things with flowers. She was a flower arranger. I buy a bouquet of flowers at the grocery store and I put them in a vase and enjoy them. So I'm not so much into arranging them appropriately. My sister can do that, but not me. So anyway, we are going to arrange a little bouquet of flowers today. And I'm going to go ahead and show you the card that I'll be doing. Let's flip down to my desktop and transition to that. And hi, Sharon, welcome. So this is the card that I'm going to make. So the flowers are just kind of flowing in the wind there, and put them in a little carry home pouch or bag or whatever you want to call it. So before I get started, I would like to welcome anybody who might be new to my channel. And if you are not subscribed, please do that. So if you're watching on YouTube, you can subscribe to my channel, press the button that says thumbs up, and also subscribe, and then press the little bell to get notified when I go live. And I'm usually here every Monday at 3:30. So I would also appreciate it if you could share the video, because that helps me build. It's just kind of a struggle to build. There's so many places where you can spend your time and watch videos. So I hope you enjoy what I'm going to show you today. Okay, what I'm using and what I used in the one that I showed you is Honeybee Home. And I'm actually not using any of the stamps from this set. But if you're familiar with Stampin' Up, you know that not only are there dies to go with many of our stamp sets, but many of those dies are not stamped images, and they coordinate together. But in order to build this bouquet that I wanted to do, I'm using this one, this one, and this one, and this one. And these others are stamped images, kind of got them upside down here, are stamped images that could be stamped and then cut out. But I didn't think these were delicate enough to do what I wanted to do to build this bouquet. So I have already die cut those 3 out a few times so that they can build and have lots of flowers in the bouquet. But we also have some bees here, the 3 honeybees in different configurations here. And then this one, I didn't think that was delicate enough for my needs. And then this one too. So it's a great stamp set. It is still available as a bundle. And I believe it is on page, kept looking at this, 74. And it has been around for a little bit. It was not new last year, but it is retiring. So if you want this now, it is still available at the bundle price of $45. But it is going away. And then I'm also using the Go-To Greetings stamp set for my sentiment, and I'm using the Thinking of You in this font. And this is a great stamp set for just about everything. I know I've used it numerous times in past videos with happy birthday in 3 different fonts, depending upon the size and how delicate you want it. Just a note in 3 different fonts. Thank you as well. Let's see. Thank you in those 2 fonts and here. And hello is only in the tiny little font. So that's a great keeper stamp set. And that is a cling. I actually have only used a few of those, but I'm definitely going to keep it in my stash. I've also used Stylish Shapes for the large circle that I'm going to use to make the pouch. I guess that's the best word I can think of. The pouch to go with my bouquet. And I'm also going to use tailor-made tags for this little tag that is on the card. And those 2 are not going away, thankfully. And then to make my circle, I'm using the Craft 6x6 cardstock. And this is kind of a, I wouldn't call it rustic, but it's different. You can make cards with it. I tend to use it for things like this, but it is going to retire. And it's not like crumb cake. It's got that butcher paper look, and that's what I wanted to achieve with this. So I've cut out the circle. And I'm also using some of our retired colors today, even though, or they're going to retire, excuse me, in colors. The, what do I have here pulled out? Soft Succulent. I'm also going to use some Evening Evergreen paper. Polish Pink, which I'm going to miss desperately. And I also have some Daffodil Delight in the blends. I'm using the blends today. So let's put those aside and get started. So just want to tell you that in this new catalog, which I can show here, I can't show the inside yet, but if you are a customer, you will be getting one of these in the mail soon. And it is lovely. The paper, the color refresh is awesome. I was organizing my colors over the weekend, so I will be working with those in the next couple of weeks. So that's pretty awesome. It's always fun to get new catalog. But I'm using today a piece of Evening Evergreen, and this is the, forget the name of it, the 21 to 23 in color 6x6 paper. Hello, Francine, welcome. I'm also using a piece of basic white. I'll give you the measurements on these because I have something I think a little interesting to share with you. And I'm using a 1/4 sheet of soft succulent. Now, as with everything else that we're dealing with in the whole wide world, prices are going up a little bit. And Stampin' Up! Is not hasn't been able to kind of step away from that. But the prices are, I think, reasonable for what you get. But I'm going to show you a bit of a way that you may perhaps economize some on your cards and card bases. So the basic white is going up to, it's going up 25 cents. And that was silly. I didn't look at the actual price of it. I think it's $9.25 now. Let me look. I did not write that down. Yes, the basic white is currently $10.25 for 40 sheets. It's going to $10.50. So that's not extremely bad. The Very Vanilla would be the same. Our colored cardstock is going from, let's get here a minute. The colored cardstock is $9.25 and it's going to $10 for 24 sheets. So in a way to economize, yes, it's going up 75 cents. If you will take a 1/4 sheet of the cardstock and a 1/2 sheet, where did it go? A 1/2 sheet of your basic white, okay, something happened here. A gremlin maybe came and took that. I had another piece here. I guess it just, oh, I put it with something else. And take a 1/2 sheet of your basic white that is cut to 4 by, it's actually, I cut it a different way, 10.5 and scored in the middle. And then take your piece of designer paper, if you like to do it that way, and put that on the card base, which is just a 1/4 sheet of cardstock. So you would get 4 cards out of 1 sheet of colored paper instead of 2. Another thing that you need to consider, or could consider, excuse me, is that you now wouldn't need to put another piece of basic white on the inside of your card when you use a colored cardstock. So it saves on that a little bit. So just looking to be a little bit more economical, I thought that I would throw out that option to do your card this way. And then it obviously folds up or opens up, if I can get it there, like it usually does. Now, when I cut my designer paper, and I've already run this through the Beehive or the Hive 3D embossing folder, which is also retiring, I cut this 1/8 of an inch bigger on each side. So instead of 4 1/4, I cut it at 4 5/8. Same thing with this end. Instead of 5 1/2, I cut it to 5 and, yeah, get my measurements right. Yeah, 5 and, 5 5/8. Yes. Yes. Had a little brain freeze there. Because when you run something through the embossing folder, especially if it's designer paper, it's going to shrink just a little bit. So I found when I wasn't doing that, I was having to trim my paper because I want it to cover up the whole base here. Now, again, that's strictly optional. I didn't want any of that white showing underneath. So if you think about it, this is going to shrink a little bit and you want to get it on that card base. So you need that extra 1/8 of an inch. Now, if you do want a frame around your designer paper, that's something else to consider too. So it's all optional on what you want to do. All right. So let's do some gluing. I'm going to glue this to my basic white. I'm going to go ahead and call it a card base, because that's pretty much basically what it is. And use my liquid adhesive for that. Let's get that out of the way. And now I can put that on this card base, which is the standard 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. I'll be using some dimensionals along the way, so I don't want to add dimensionals to this part so that the card isn't too thick. And I do love those two greens together, and I will miss them, but I know I'll be happy with what is coming. Okay, so there, that part is done. I'll need that glue again. Now, as far as, well, let's do something else before I get to the creation. I've got a small piece. This is where you can decorate your inside. I've got a small piece of that designer paper to go on the inside panel of my basic white. And this is going to be a thinking of you card. So any other sentiment can be written in. And then I have a piece of polished pink, because some of my flowers are going to be polished pink, to go on the envelope flap. And I love these little flowers on here. So I'm going to use that same design. And snip that. And this piece is 2 1/4 by 6. A 2-inch piece just doesn't work. So it is just enough to give a little tiny bit around that curved part of our envelopes. And I love, 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 love the Stampin' Up! Envelopes. I can't cut and talk at the same time, I guess. There we go. So that part is done. Our card base is done. Now we just need to build. I've also got my silicone mat here, which is great for the coloring that I'm going to do. And I have pre-colored a few of those die cuts. So let's show you those. So we've got our little greenery, and we've got a couple with the polished pink. Here's one that I colored with pale papaya, but it's a little bit too orangey, So I think I will do something with the Daffodil Delight. Here's one that's white. Got some pretty white flowers out there. So here are some others. And I will then show you how I made that little butcher piece. All right, I have already pre-cut this out of the craft paper, and then you fold one side in, and I think I did use my scoring tool on that to fold that in, and then just fold that other piece over. So I'm not going to score this one. Let's see how I do. Just fold it in. I'm going to kind of eyeball it. And then fold the other piece over so you can get that. Yeah, that turned out pretty good. So I didn't even use that on there. But what I did do to make it look a little bit crumpled, because this is kind of stiff paper, I sprayed it, and I'll do this off camera so I don't spray everything, except my floor, and crumpled it up so it's got that butcher paper look or feel. And it's always fun to crumple paper. Let's see if I can get it back the way it was. There we go. So it looks worn and like it's been, you know, like the paper that you get in packing boxes and stuff. But that needs some time to dry. So with the magic of television, I do have one already ready. So all I need to do now is to build the bouquet and put it on the card. So these, as I said, were already colored. And this one, I've got 3 left. And we'll see if we need to use all of them. So I'm going to use the dark soft succulent to color the leaf part of this, and leave, I think on this one I will leave those flowers white, because the one that's white up there is the other die cut. These actually look a little bit like lilies. I covered up that bud and I didn't mean to, but it's okay. And then this one, let's go ahead and get the green on here before I do the flowers. And just kind of whisk on there. The sample that I showed you, I used the Stampin' Right markers. And I want to tell you that the new Stampin' Right markers, I only have one, I only have the basic black, have been reconfigured so that you actually have more of a bullet tip on the writing end, and then you still have the brush tip, because I never found that the writing part was really very good to write with or even color in an image with. So I've already put the black one away, but it is amazing. It's like using a Sharpie marker. Oh, colored that a little bit green. That's okay. Maybe I won't use this one. I mean, I'm going to make some yellow flowers here. And again, I guess I can't talk and color at the same time either. Well, that green colors up pretty good. There we go. I'm going to switch to the light. That's better. The light Daffodil Delight. They'll get covered up. Okay. I don't think I need that other one that I did. All right, so now let's build this on the card. So I'm going to add some adhesive to the inside, the middle part of this, because I do want my flowers to be kind of out here like this. And then just start laying them in there. Let's see, I only have 2 of these greenery ones. Then I can just kind of layer those in there like a bouquet. And let's get some pink, some polished pink. I think I need some more adhesive in there. Let's see what that's going to look like closed. Then I can always add more adhesive when I close it too. What was the name of the set? This is the Honeybee Home bundle. It's on page 74 in the current catalog, Rose. And when I looked this morning, it is still available. Let's put some yellow in there. Some more pink. Another white. This is the way I arrange flowers. So I'm putting more in this one than I did in the original sample, but it's a fun set to work with. And again, I've not done any stamping from the stamp set. So there's lots and lots of flowers in this bouquet. I better be able to close my package here. And you can also tuck something in the back. I think I'll put that one back there. Maybe I overdid it a bit. Oh dear. I got a couple of bunches of flowers at Whole Foods the other day just to have for Easter. And that is, if you have a Whole Foods near you someplace, that is the best place to buy flowers. Okay, my adhesive wants to tear, and that's just a brand new packet too. So I'm going to put a couple of these back here to stick out. And if you are an Amazon Prime subscriber, you get discounts too. So that was a good thing. Okay, one more. All right, now we need to close this up, and I'm going to use a glue dot since I don't want my new thing of adhesive to tear. I'm also going to add a glue dot to the back to help hold the piece of linen thread that I'm going to use to tie this bunch of flowers up. I have to show you my little holder here for my threads. I was cleaning out some spices out of a spice rack, and I know this says crushed red pepper, which I do use occasionally, and I thought this is perfect for putting some of my twines in there. So I didn't even cover this up, but I did wash it. It's all washed. So I need to put that on there. So there's a kitchen thing that got used, and there's some linen thread and some gray twine in there from one of our twine packs. Okay, now let's add some dimensionals to the back. This is almost done. Rose, you are welcome. And if you don't have a circle, this is about, I think I measured it at about a 3-inch circle. So if you don't have, yeah, it's about 3-inch. So if you don't have circle dies or the stylish shapes, you could probably use a teacup, anything small or about that size, and just do the same thing. And you don't have to use the butcher paper. You could use regular designer paper would work too. Okay, now this is one of the reasons that I have the silicone mat here. I can lay this down. I've taken the pieces off of my dimensionals, and I'm also going to use another one here. Now I'll have you going through your kitchen cupboards looking for spices that are almost gone. But anyway, I can lay my piece down here that already has the dimensional backs off of it and manipulate this around to do what I want to do, and then lift it back off of there. The silicone mat is an awesome, awesome product. If you do things with hot glue, oh wait, I know what I wanted to do. Hello. I have already punched out, let's see, this is the better of the ones that I have, punched out the die cut of the tailor-made tags with Thinking of You, and I want to put that on here as my tag. Those tailor-made tags are wonderful. They even have little things that go over the hole, like reinforcements. That's the word I'm thinking of. Hole reinforcements. So now I can tie my bow. Okay, I have to think while I'm tying that bow. Okay, it looks like I might be freezing a little bit, so we're just about done. I see a little yellow dot up there in the corner. Let's trim this off a little bit. And now I can lift those dimensionals off of there and place them on the card. Press it down. And this needs some butterflies. I know it's a little early for butterflies. I think we do have the bees. I actually saw a bee the other day in my house, which was not a happy thing. So let's add a butterfly up here. And these brushed brass butterflies are carrying over. Which is a good thing. And let's put one down here on our little butcher pouch. And one more quick thing, which is retiring. And these are the In Color Opal rounds. And these are gorgeous. So I'm going to put a few of those on the little white flowers. Put a pink one here. Those others are a little tiny. Let's put a small yellow one on one of the pink ones. Whoop, where'd it go? Okay, I might have to sacrifice that one because my sticky stuff from the Take a Pick tool decided to break off. Okay, that little one is Fresh Freesia. Fresh Freesia is staying over and is going to become one of our core colors. That is exciting. Let's see if I can get that on there this time. There we go. So I'm going to have to be using a lot of those. But I still will use retired product after it's gone. And we still have 3 weeks to go. So let's put that aside. So here's this card today. And it has lots of flowers in it. Here is the sample, my original one. So they're both a little bit different. This has the Hive 3D embossing folder. This one has one of the new online exclusive folders. You can hardly see it on here, but you can see the Honeybee one. I love that one. So there we go. Golly, I did this in 40 minutes, under 40 minutes today. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you again next week. And who knows what's going to be available then, but I will at least try to inspire you and make you think that you can craft, make you want to craft, and make pretty things. So have a great rest of the week. Enjoy this great weather if you are in Ohio. It's going to be 80 by Friday, believe it or not. So enjoy the beautiful spring that we're having wherever you are. So take care. Bye-bye.